In this video I'm going to be replacing the diff in this D21 Navara. I've got this spare one to put in. I'm not sure if it's the same ratio, I'm just about to find out. The one that's currently in it's just completely cooked. Oh, let's get into it. We're going to start off by unbolting the CVs. Going to come in here and unbolt these. It's 3x2 bolt pattern, so we've got 6 bolts on each side we've got to unbolt. Pretty easy to get at. That's in just there. And then after we've unbolted the CVs, we'll be coming in and we'll be unbolting the diff cross member, which is these 2 bolts, 2 on each side, and then the rear one. This one back here, these bolts up here, 1 on each side, and then the front drive shaft, the front end of it, and then that's pretty much it. Disconnect the breather and we'll be able to drop it straight out. As you can see, I just put some manual hubs on this truck and the diff has straight away started making a clicking sound. It had no hubs when I bought it, and there's silicone in strange places on this diff, so it's pretty obvious that there's some funky stuff going on. That's the CVs unbolted. Now it's time to start. Now it's time to start on the diff mounts. Don't have any of my electric tools. No electric ratchets, so I was in there doing it the old school way. Like a peasant. That'll do the job. Question is, can this little 3/8 ratchet handle that? Just got one side off. These things are on there a lot tighter than I was expecting. Like crazy tight. Surely this side can't be as tight as the other side was. That's one. There's no way I would have got this with that 3/8 ratchet. Would have just shattered the ratchet. Turns out I was wrong about being able to get the bolt out without having to cut it. See, once you get the nuts off the bolts, you'll notice when you come around the back that the bottom bolt can come out, but the top bolt actually fails on the torsion bar mount. So you have to cut that one, and then when you put it back in, you slide the bolt in from the front of the chassis as opposed to the back, so if you ever have to take it out again, you can get it out without having to cut it. It's funny design by Nissan, but just the way they did it. Okay, so plan is to cut those bolts out with the saber saw. I'll show you what I mean about how it's fouling on the torsion bar mount though. You see it comes back and it just basically hits straight into the torsion bar mount, so almost through. Just got the second one off. The head of that nut's cooking, or the head of that bolt. Listen to it sizzling away inside the chassis. But That's her cut. Both ready to come out now. I just gotta do the drive shaft. You're gonna want a ratcheting ring spanner for this because you gotta come in from the back. Just use a extension or a big screwdriver thing, stick it in here so it turns and hits into the gearbox or the chassis to lock the drive shaft while you undo it. Okay, so that's the front drive shaft unbolted. Almost there, making good progress. Now just gotta get that back bolt, that one there. These bolts are seriously tight. I don't know if it's just from the factory or someone's redone these, but they ain't playing around, man. Well, that's those back bolts undone, ready to come out. It's crazy how tight they were done up. I wish I had my Ugga Dugga, it would have come out like a piece of piss, but had to resort to the old school way. Just gonna do a bit of a tidy up, get all the tools and shit out of the way, disconnect the diff breather, and then she's ready to come out. The diff breather just broke while I was trying to get it out. It's not a big deal though, because there's actually another diff breather on that other diff, but it's just like so brittle, it's crazy. Not really expecting that, but it's what it is. She's all ready to come out. Thought it might be interesting to show you guys the bolts that I had to cut. Moment of truth. She didn't drop out like I thought she would. Get yourself a big old breaker bar. Crack up. I actually forgot that it's connected to the front sway bar, so just quickly unbolt that front sway bar. 2 bolts on each side, and then she'll come straight out. No wonder it wasn't dropping. Okay, so I've got the sway bar mounts disconnected off the diff. Now, the diff cross member. You just disconnect them and then bend them, turn them up out of the way so that these lower parts here, they don't catch on the diff cross member as you try and lower it. They should be all now, it should drop out. Famous last words though, you know. That's right, I forgot it catches on the torsion bars. So you gotta drop the front out first and then slide it over to one side. I think I found another thing that it's being held up by. Another thing that I overlooked. It's the bracket that holds the diff breather to the back of the cross member. I think that's what's left, the only thing left holding it up now. I think it's just that. Okay, so now they're out. I'm pretty sure that's all there is that's been holding it up. That front section out. Now I think the back just needs to be persuaded past the torsion bars. So that's the old one out. It's a bit of a count to pop out. On the rear end, you need to pop it down on one side first. I came down first on the side close to the diff flange, and then popped down on that side last, because it can't fit between the torsion bars on both sides at once. As you can see, you might not really be able to see, but this diff is completely cooked on this side. Time to check the ratio and then go from there. This is the new diff that's going in. I'm pretty sure they're both the same ratio. The way you check it is you want to get 1 full revolution out of the wheel. And then however many turns it takes to get that on this one, you double it. So I want to get that roughly at the top, say directly out from that bolt hole. Well, not directly, but close to. So now you're looking for 1 full revolution out of this, and then count how many turns it takes on this to do it. So as you can see, that's 1 revolution there, 2 revolutions there, and then it's probably about another third of a revolution roughly to get it to go back to where it was. So from that you can calculate roughly that is 2 1/3 revolutions, and then you double that, so the ratio should be 4.6, and that was the same on the other diff, so I'm hoping that these are actually both the same ratio. I don't know, so I'm finding out. We'll see once it's in the truck and we chuck it in 4-dub. So here we go. To get it back in, it's basically just the opposite of what we've just done. Got the diff in, got the front bolts in, and the front cross member. Now I just need to get the ones in the back. It was a bit of a cunt to get in, but got it in the end. I put the back in first. I put the side with the diff on it up past the torsion bar, then used a block to hold it there, and then popped the other side up with the jack. Got a screwdriver in to keep it there, and came forward and did these front bolts. Just got the rear cross member bolts in. Just got to give them a tighten up. Chuck on the rear drive shaft. Bolt the CVs up. Diff breather. Front sway bar. Should be ready to go. Don't make the same mistake I just made. The front diff cross member out of a D22 Navara doesn't have any mounting points for the sway bar, so make sure you swap over the front diff cross member so that you can mount your sway bar up again. It's always something. Okay, so here's the difference in between the 2 different front diff cross members. This one's out of the D21 that has the sway bar mounting brackets, and this one's out of the D22 and it just hasn't got any. Bit of a stitch up, but gotta roll with the punches, I guess. Hopefully they're compatible, but sadly only one way to find out. That's that front diff cross member swap back over. Now I can chuck the sway bar back on. Yeah, didn't think about that when I was swapping it over, but it was easier to swap over than I expected, so can't complain. Finally got the diff fully installed. Took a while, okay, made a mistake on the way, but it's all in, ready to go. I've only got 1 bolt in the front diff cross member at the moment. Should be all good for now. It's all tightened up. Got the CVs back on. Got the rear cross member bolts back in. Diff breather back on. Front drive shaft reconnected. Sway bar linked back on. Had a problem with the sway bar where I put the D22 cross member back in and it didn't have the sway bar brackets, so had to swap that over. It was a bit of a mission, but she's all in, ready to go. All ready for a test start, find out if it's the same ratio. Fingers crossed it is. It was a pretty good bit of a mission doing that, but it's good to be done. About to find out if it's the same ratio. Fingers crossed. Feels good. Feels like I'm in four-wheel drive now. This is the test. We'll see if we can get out of the spot where it couldn't get out of earlier. Oh, here it goes. Beautiful. Popped out there like it was nothing. Oh well, old girl's back in action. Good shit. Happy as about that. Oh well, all done. Bit of a mission, but that's it for this video. See you in the next one.